future.
Hugh Augustine in conversation.
That's me.
It's good to have you here.
Thanks for having me back.
Always
You
a
know what I
pleasure.
mean?
Always a pleasure. And it's good because I think I'm excited because this is our first time in studio.
Right.
Yeah.
We did an interview before.
Pandemic vibes.
Yeah.
But we was still in studio actually, and you know what? Because you be all over. You was in the Dina.
That's right.
You was like out there on that. It was a time. It was a period. What's life been like for you these days? Because that was maybe that was post pandemic. There's been a lot of transformation,
Right.
a lot of movement. Let's just jump into it. What's life looking like today?
Touring is back. So I've been on the road a lot. I just came back from Europe. Was performing with Isaiah Rashad. Last year I did a national tour with Girl Talk. So I've been balancing like being back on the road, recording, still running my food business, Hugh's Hot Bowls, which has grown into like a catering company. We're doing like corporate events now and doing like a lot of food festivals and stuff like that. Working on getting this cafe, you feel me?
Getting that brick and mortar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a lot of moving parts, figuring out how to balance everything and figuring out how do I want to be involved in these different sectors of life that I'm in. You know what I'm saying? That I'm touching.
Right. And what is that? What is I guess the most eye-opening part about finding that balance for you? What's that been like?
The most eye-opening part, I think self-care and rest is a big part of being able to do what I do. Taking everything at my own pace, not feeling like I'm in competition with anybody, and just like working every day to be my best self, you feel me? Yeah, and then realizing like this road of entrepreneurship and like the way that I do everything, it's like a long road. It's a long journey, you feel me? And there's ups
Absolutely.
and downs to it. And just keeping the same enthusiasm when I'm in the process of working on something as I have when like I'm seeing the results from it, you feel me? I think
That's the challenge, right?
That's always the challenge, is like how do you stay excited when you're not reaping the benefits yet?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I feel like it just makes me think about the conversation in the back of the parking lot when
When I seen you in Lamert?
years ago,
Yeah.
and it was like, yo, I'm some of the first iterations of Hugh's Hot Bowls, when that day K Solar and I, we happened to pull up to your spot at the same time to pick up our plate, and to just hear you talking about going and doing these catering events,
Yeah.
and doing black market fleas, and having your food. I mean, we just saw there was you received an award recently. Some recognition.
I got a certificate or whatever because I was like doing this program.
That's right.
Feeding inner city high school students and then speaking with them like a mentor type of situation. Yeah, that was cool. Getting into stuff like that too. Figuring out ways to get my food and message to like students and younger people. Because I feel like that's so important with what we do too. Is like becoming a mentor and trying to like give these keys and shortcuts.
That's real Mogul Talk.
To the younger ones, you know what I'm saying? Because I wish that there was somebody when I was in high school to tell me, oh yeah, those drawings or like that idea you have, you can go downtown with $40, make a screen, get some T-shirts for another $20 down there, a dozen tees, and you can, you know what I'm saying, make T-shirts at home with a screen printer, and you could sell this to your friends and start a clothing brand. Like,
and no one's really telling you that.
Yeah, no one's telling you could do it for $120.
Seems that doesn't even seem possible.
So yeah, being able to be somebody to build a bridge in that space and show kids who come from my same city that they could do it too, And
some of that, like when it comes to mentorship and especially working with the youth right now. I mean, everything when you say that, like, how do you get your message right? It seems like through the music, through the food, through the brand, through your presence, like that sounds like real mogul talk. You know what I'm saying? Like, what does it mean when you say self-care? Like, even to emphasize the importance of self-care and emphasize the importance of owning your own business and moving
and actually doing that too, like practicing those things, being an owner of my music and of my food company, and you know what I'm saying, moving independently, not just like preaching about it or like that being a message in my music, but actually practicing that and like being able to take the hardships and the failures that come with that too.
Speaking of hardships, right? It's like, how do you find that discipline, you know, when it is you, like you're answering to you as the owner, as that boss, as that CEO. Where do you
if you don't get up and do it, then it's not gonna happen, you know? So I'm like a self-motivated person, and the things that I visualize I want to see in real life.
Right.
So I figure out what is it going to take for me to actually go see and touch that, you know? And then
map it out.
Yeah. And then when you get there, it might be a little different than what you imagined, but then that's just the reality of it, you know? And then take things as they come and keep building on it. Like, but the main thing is that realizing that if you don't go to work, or if you don't build on this thing, you don't work on it every day, then it's not going to happen, you know? And if you procrastinate, like, opportunities will pass you up. You will see things that you wanted or that you pitched for or that you whatever, and you didn't get it, you know? But then there, like where I'm at now, I've been on it so consistently that I'm getting hit up for those opportunities. I'm asking for a price, and then I'm getting that price, you know?
Now, that's a big thing.
Yeah.
Asking for the price and getting, and it sounds easier than it really is when it comes to negotiation and knowing your value.
Right.
What did that, I mean, were there experiences that kind of put you in a position where it was a necessity, or where you were able to, you know, strengthen that process and negotiation for you, or just your level of comfort when it came to like, yo, this is my value and this is why?
Well, you can't negotiate from a place of desperation, you know? And
keyword, yeah.
If you don't have your necessities taken care of already, then you're not gonna have any power when it comes to asking for what you want or what you need, because you already don't have it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you're not.
Wow,
like,
hey, that's big. That's big, right?
You got to
there.
be good without this, good or not without this next deal or this check or whatever. Like you have a plan.
Yeah.
You feel me? You got something stacked up or whatever it is. So that's where I'm at. You feel me? I'm at a place where it's like I'm taking care of my shit. I'm independent. My bills are paid off of my hustle, and I'm able to like chase my dreams in the way that I want to, because somebody can't like dangle a carrot in front of me because I have my shit already. You know what I mean? So it's like, if you can't, if it's not gonna be 10x on what I already am doing, then there's no point, because I'm gonna get to that eventually if I just keep.
It has to that 10x too, because you could hit 4x, you could hit 5x. Like, those are things that's already in motion.
And 10x right now, you know, it's like if I'm gonna get involved, I don't even know how we segue to this, but it's like if I'm gonna get involved with something, like it gotta be pushing the button on it right now today.
And that, I mean, that's important. I think a lot of times you see, and I mean, we see peers, we see artists we look up to, we see friends of ours. Just that can be the hardest part about maintaining. It's asking that what you're worth, whether it's a price, whether it's set time, if it's, you know, a booking agent, management situation, emails, whatever it is. So that's really dope. What are some of those you know, moguls that are inspiring you right now, or kind of like giving you Whether it's like now or just previously, like the folks that you look at and you're like, okay,
Moguls. Well, I watch Shark Tank a lot. I've probably seen every episode of Shark Tank. And when I started to realize like that's how companies look at artists in the same way as like those sharks look at these small businesses and wanting to be able to track like their money and income and like profit loss statements and all that stuff and being able to like calculate how much money, like give them an evaluation, right? Because when you watch Shark Tank, people will go in there and they'll be like, well, I think my company's worth $2 million, but you only got 10,000 worth of sales and you only got an email list with 200 people on it or whatever, right? So it's like, yeah, you want to be a mogul, then that takes like having your numbers in order, having your paperwork in order, having your community in order. You know what I'm saying? So I do watch that show a lot because I just feel like that gives me like a good sense of like what works, what doesn't work. What is it like? How can you sell something to like a mass audience or like a broad community? Like what service are you providing? What's the story? Like what's the brand? What's the
right?
You know what I'm saying?
Right. It sounds like you have a good process for
But
that
obviously
organization.
Nipsey,
Right.
it's one of the biggest moguls that I ever looked up to. Yeah, so many people.
Yeah, and it sounds like the process to even, I mean, man, to keep up with numbers and a lot of that, you know, it can easily get categorized as admin, but that's the stuff that as an artist, you know, sets you apart, puts you in that step forward. That's really incredible.
It's like if somebody knows you, like if you don't know your own business, right, then how can you be strategic about how you want to grow it and like where to put the money and who you're marketing to or anything like that, right?
Do you how do you define you know, speaking of growth, right? Like you're in the midst of growth, not only as on the creative side, but on your business side, you know, human side. How do you gauge what growth is beneficial for the moment, and then pace that out over, you know, when you're making your plans for you know, long run or short term, whatever that goal is?
Sometimes you don't know when like you're making the right decisions or like you're putting things in the right place until later on, right?
Right.
Yeah, but I feel like my growth and my journey path, whatever you want to call it, is like just to reach like more happiness in life and like fulfillment in what I'm doing, you know? So I guess being able to gauge it is like in the moment if I'm like happy and fulfilled with what I'm doing, you know? And that's something that kept me like pursuing this food business is like when I'm doing that, I'm feeling great. I'm feeding people. People are telling me how good it is. They want more. They're coming back again. Every time I pop up, they're pulling up. You know what I'm saying? It feels good because I'm providing something that's a necessity, like you got to eat, you know? It's like spreading a vibe. I'm putting good vibes into the food. People telling me they can feel it. You feel me?
Yeah. Those are the things that keep you going.
Yeah, like when you're on stage and you're crushing it and everybody's bouncing and they're responding to what I'm saying and I'm telling them to do. You feel me? It's the same feeling, you know? It's like we're like we're like having this exchange, you know what I'm saying? And when somebody comes up to you after the show and they're like, "Yo, you know, this song did this for me. Like it brought my vibe up, it brought my energy up." Like those are the moments where you can like actually calculate that work, you know? Because it's abstract what we're doing.
Very much.
There's like, you know, they created all this streaming and stuff to quantify like that thing or that feeling, right? But like saying like your song has 1 million plays or whatever doesn't equate to like that person waking up every day and that's their song they play in the shower to get their mind right. For their like whatever they gotta go do, you know?
That's a big note.
Yeah.
Because what you say about Shark Tank too, you know, that's how they're looking at us.
Right.
So to be aware of that, I mean, it sounds like that's able to keep you grounded in a lot of
But sometimes you don't always get the opportunity to have those like reinforcing moments of like speaking with that fan or like having that sold out show or whatever. But people are still like having those experiences to your work, you know what I mean? And so it's like, that's why I go back to the like being fulfilled in the process part and like getting better and seeing the growth in that and like taking enjoyment in that part, because like, you don't always get to like see how it affects people or like reap the benefits of it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Because in the moment it's happening.
Yeah.
You know? So it's hard to pick that up.
You know, on some Van Gogh shit too. Like you might be making the best shit ever, and it just is the wrong time, wrong place. Something, whatever. You don't like. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like that could drive you crazy. And it's like, no, bro, just enjoy like being able to make it.
Happy.
Yeah.
Happiness. So what kind of, where does that fall? You know, that just makes me think about, you know, you sharing your experience overseas, right? And being able to, and you toured with Girl Talk, and then I remember, you know, we were out at South by last year.
Yeah, that was right before I went on that tour.
So
like a week before or something.
Literally.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of different audiences.
Yeah.
That you're in a different types of people. So to be able to get your message across in all these spaces, I mean, what were some of those things that you noticed that you know, allowed you to keep going there, that worked?
Going where?
When you're just in different audiences, what were the things that allowed that helped that you were like, oh, this works when I'm connecting with the audience. This works, whether it's like,
I think breaking that fourth wall almost for me when I'm on stage and like talking to people in the crowd, like just showing like my humanity almost when I'm performing.
Type shit, yeah.
Like cracking jokes and being like, you know, like there's like off the cuff moments during the show where I'm like talking to the crowd, or I might say something funny or say something that's like, I know about this phrase or this place or this whatever, and I can reference it because I've been to this city or country before. You know what I'm saying?
Familiarity.
Yeah.
There's rapport there.
Yeah, and just creating some type of like commonality with the audience, because a lot of the times I'm going to I'm like opening for people, so I've been performing for so long, but I'm still getting in front of new crowds all the time. So I've gotten so comfortable with like just going up there and being myself and just like not making it a big deal, because there could be 10 people there could be 10,000 people there, and it's like
just showing up.
Yeah, how do you just show up and give them the same like energy and the same vibe, whether it's that many people or it's not, you know?
What are some of the most enjoyable experiences on stage you can think of?
The most enjoyable experiences on stage, oh man. The best thing is like, especially on this last Europe run, is seeing like everybody recite your lyrics back to you, and the emotion that like it incites inside of people.
Yeah.
It's crazy, because sometimes that's not always the intention behind like what you do. Right. But like, cause I'm like, a chill song, when you listen to it, can become like a hype song when you perform it.
Wow.
And just seeing people like go crazy to something that was really just like some swag shit for you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's so cool, because it's just like the energy is just, it's transforming in its own way. It like has its own life, you know?
And it's very genuine.
Yeah. And it's just like, damn, you know, people are going crazy to this because that's their song. You know? Like how I was saying, this is that person's get up in the morning song, they shower song, they riding in the car song,
like this
their
is that
smoke
one.
song.
Yeah.
Like this is that one for them, you know?
And you feel it. You feel it up there.
Yeah.
That's dope.
And then I'm having so much fun rapping it for them, you know? It's like they're excited that I'm there. I'm having fun doing it for them.
We're all excited to be
We're all
here.
just having a good time together, you know?
Hey, that's facts.
It's like throwing a party every city you go to and being the host, and like everybody wants to be there to see you.
That's what the Girl Talk tour looked like for sure.
That tour was really crazy, you know. I never seen any production like that. Girl Talk's setup is really nuts, and it's very interactive with the crowd, you know.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah. So I learned a lot from being on that tour too.
Word.
Yeah.
Just as far as on the production side or more on the creative side? Or
everything, like, you know, that's somebody who like tours with his own crew, his own squad. It's very like smaller team, you know what I'm saying? It's just him on stage. Like he brings a lot of people on stage, like from the crowd and stuff.
Right.
But in terms of like his show, he's the show, you know? He's got two people that are like hype men, and they do like gags and different stuff during the show. But
damn,
it's just him.
Like a circus act almost.
They do stuff like they throw out like inflatables and like blast the crowd with like these toilet paper shooters and like they have confetti and like a balloon
theatrical
drop. Yeah, it's just it's
very
crazy.
theatrical.
And they kind of help with all that stuff. And
It's all in-house.
Yeah, it's all in-house, you know? And then he's playing all his own remixes. He's doing them live and shit.
That's dope.
And the set's like an hour and a half.
Oh, snap.
Yeah. So yeah, that shit was dope to see every night. Like, we on the tour bus. He got his own crew with him. And every night just going and picking up a big bag, selling out these legendary venues and shit, you know?
Damn. Yeah.
We doing 2,000 cap rooms and shit all over the country.
Yeah.
Some rooms 5,000, 6,000 cap. Yeah, so it was dope to see that, like, as an independent artist, to see another independent artist. And he brought me on tour because he fucks with what I do and fucks with my music. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, just like mutual love and respect. And to see, like, yeah, you can be an artist because he's like in his 40s now.
Hell yeah.
You can be an artist who's touring into your 40s. You got your crew, you got your thing, you got your niche audience.
That's you.
And you can make M's, you know, and you can decide if you want to do it or not, you know?
Do you feel like you saw a lot of or glimpses of you know, the future of Hugh Augustine, like in some of those experiences?
100%. I feel like I got to see with him how his audience grew up with him.
That's so fire. Yeah.
Yeah, and just how, like, you know, because I was selling all my own merch. So I would
remember that.
I would be at the merch table, and people would be coming up, and I'd be selling our merch, talking to him, and he's selling his merch. You know, he's got his merch seller right next to me, and I'm seeing people coming up with like tour shirts from 10 years ago, 15 years ago, like, oh, you know, they got the date on it, or it's just like this washed out logo. It's like, damn, you could tell that's their favorite shirt. They've been wearing it. They bought it at the last concert, and now they're about to buy a new one. Like, they're buying 2 shirts. They're buying vinyl. They're buying boom, boom, you know?
Yeah.
Then I was like, you know, talking to the tour manager, because I'm out there trying to learn the business. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
And, you know, they're telling me, like, the average spend per person is a certain amount of money, you know?
On these tours?
On these tours, like, yeah, the average spend is this much per person.
Per person involved.
Like,
wow.
Their ticket, they're going to buy merch, they're going to buy drinks, they're going to buy whatever, right?
Right.
That's the average spend per person, right? Now, that's the number that we're trying to get up. You feel me? When you open the doors on something, whether it's my food business, whether it's my tour shit, whether it's the concert, whatever it is, right? We're trying to get that average spend number up. You feel me?
Per person
that comes into your shit. You feel me?
Yeah.
So, boom, if your average spend is $30, $40, $50, whatever, right? An artist on that level, that number is in the hundreds. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like you have an established audience. Your audience has a certain amount of income, right? So that means that when they come to your show, they have this much expendable income that they can, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, that's game.
You feel me?
That's facts.
And it's like, okay, understanding that when it comes to your marketing, understanding that when it comes to like how you're positioning your branding and like your design, your aesthetic, and like what type of venue is your show in, what type of drinks are they serving at the bar, what type of material is your merch made out of, like all that stuff goes to understanding your audience, your market, and figuring out what you want that average spend to be when they come fuck with you, you know?
And you can start it somewhere and take it up, but you got to know where you're starting.
Yeah.
Wow.
So whether you're an artist that's at the caliber where you're doing $5 show and your merch is you got a $20 shirt and the drinks are $7, you know, it's like, all right, I know that I'm gonna get $30 per person. We got to get 100 people in here. You know what I'm saying?
You're already doing the math.
You're doing the math. And
that affects the venue.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. All right, where can we do this show at? What do we got to spend on the marketing to sell those 100 tickets and pack the room out? You know what I'm saying? And then what was our cost of doing the show? Like, how much do we have to rent a van? Got to pay my DJ. Maybe I got some lights, rentals. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And all of this,
renting
you're
out the
thinking
venue.
through.
You're figuring, yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you as the artist.